Hello, welcome to the Halloween Eve Carnivore Livestream. Hi, everybody.
Hi. Hello.
Right, so just to introduce the panel, so can we start with you, George?
Yeah, certainly. My name's George Goodenough. Some of you will know me from various different interviews I've given over the course of the last year or so. I am not a YouTuber myself because, as I've just been explaining to my great friends here, I wouldn't have time for them if I had my own YouTube. I've been Carl's right-hand man for about a year now. We work together very closely. He calls me the Puppet Master, which is my code name in the carnivore world because I pull the strings behind the scenes. I'm very happy to support all of my YouTube pals. And yeah, I'm really glad to be here, and I'm really looking forward to a fun night because we have some seriously fun people here. So yeah, that's me. And okay, back to you, Carl.
Would you like to introduce yourself, Dawn?
Yes, I'm Dawn from Resting Witch Face, and I am so grateful to George and Carl for letting me be here and for finding me and helping me on my journey with carnivore. I'm the newbie here, so I don't have as much information as the rest of them, but I'm just happy to be here and talk with you guys. So
Fantastic. And last but not least, the wonderful Sarah.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for having me on here. For those that don't know me, I've been in the carnivore space for a really long time, since 2014, but my journey's been, up until recently, a little bit more scenic, but madly passionate about carnivore lifestyle, hate the war on meat, which is part of the reason why I'm here, to defend meat. I can't just sit back and say nothing. I'm now on day 101 of my last ever restart on carnivore. Just 101 days, just some switch went off, just bang, and I'm just absolutely committed now. I will not be going back. I'm done with being bumpy. I started my channel because of the war on meat, because I'm so sick and tired of people trying to claim that it does everything bad when we know it does everything good. And secondly, because clearly I need support myself. I want to support others, but I need support myself to keep going, because I am the only carnivore in the house. I'm the only carnivore in the village. So I need my online family, online carnivore community support me to keep me going, so that I can then in the future help others. So that's why I'm here, and I'm
Awesome.
going to, that's it. And that's the basic summary.
Okay, so before we go into our first topic to discuss, obviously anyone viewing via the various channels connected here, feel free to ask questions, say hi to us, and we'll read out the messages as they come in and answer any questions that we can. So the first subject we want to talk about is, Sarah, you're on a bit of a mission to help people that have struggled with the carnivore style. So do you want to follow up on that?
Yeah, I think many of the carnivore YouTubers end up just wanting to help others, because we see people around us struggling all the time with health issues, and we just want to help. But when you've been in the carnivore space as long as I have, you know that people generally don't listen. So I'm thinking maybe I can help this way. Maybe I can help people online. But I do know there's lots of people that find the carnivore diet that for one reason or another struggle to stick with it. It's taken me everything I've got to get to just 100 days. And then that's a big mission for me. That's my longest, cleanest stretch without a hitch. But I know there's a lot of people that can't even get to 3 days, 10 days, 30 days, whatever their number of days is, they can't get to. And my channel is all about being really empathetic to those people. Even when I've done it for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, I'm still going to be very much, what can we do? What can you do? What can you promise yourself to do? Is 90 days too long? Fine. Do 10 days. Do whatever you need to do. Let's see if you can get some health benefits. Let's see if you can do your first Christmas. Let's see if you can do your first Thanksgiving, your first family vacation, whatever. And then once you get to that stage where you've done all those things, can we then build on it? Can we do 6 months, 12 months, 18 months? And that's what my channel is always going to be about, supporting people that can't string a long stretch together, like myself before. I think my longest stretch before was probably 3 months without a hitch. So we've now smashed that. and my chemistry is really coming together now. So I truly believe I'm there. But I have people messaging me all the time saying, "Oh, Sarah, how do you do it? How did you get to day 100? I can't even get to day 5." And I'm like, "Well, you're in the right channel then, because you're not going to be intimidated on my channel." There are some intimidating carnivore channels out there that just don't get it. They found carnivore, they stay doing carnivore, and have no idea what it's like to be the one that feels like that they're getting left behind.
Right.
So that's what my channel's always going to be about. That's it.
So
And that's
I
what
used
we
to
need
say
more
to
of.
people, it's a one day diet. You start in the morning, you go to bed, you start again the next morning. If you work on that, it doesn't become such a chore. And I found that quite useful when I started out. We've got a couple of comments, and we've got a comment from Donna saying hi to everybody, and then we've got a lovely young lady called Lainey who's asked us a simple question: how do you get your husband stroke wife to stop talking about meat 24 hours a day? I do believe the name good enough might give a clue of who she is.
That is a question which I can't answer because I think I'm the subject of that question.
It's you, George, right?
It is.
Are you like that, George?
Yeah, I have a great mug actually, which the coffee mug, which my friend gave me for Christmas last year, which simply says, "Warning: I may start talking about meat at any time." I'll send you a photograph actually, Dawn. I think you'll like it. Yeah. So yes, I am guilty of it because, as we know, everybody who discovers carnivore, we want to talk about it. Why? Because we feel so wretchedly good that we want other people to feel the same way, which is how I met you, Dawn.
Yeah.
Because as we know, you put on that very clever video, it said, "Why do I hate carnivores?" So as I said, I went ready for a gunfight. You said I went loaded for bear, and then I met you.
Ladies here, hi.
Hi.
Yeah, and so instead I found this wonderful lady who wanted to be, who hated them because she ate them. So that's how I came to sponsor you and adopt you, and here we are 11 weeks down the line, and you're doing great.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got the opposite in that my husband wishes I could stop talking about carnivore.
He says, "Oh, I can't do it, can I?" No. Tell him. He says, "Good morning," and I say, "Good morning," and you go, "Meat, steak."
Yeah. So apparently the first conversation after the morning greetings is meat, steak, premium quality duck, that sort of thing, like, you know. So yeah, it's but I mean, Lainey's just as guilty because she's the one who buys it all. She buys it all online, and we make sure we get the best quality fatty meat we possibly can. And she loves cooking at the weekends. We may talk about what I do during the week a bit later on, but at the weekends I eat very good, very well cooked, air fried, high quality fatty meat. So yeah, but I do like talking about meat.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I have to cook for myself.
Sorry, Sarah, go on.
Go on. I have to cook for myself.
We need a tiny security. You've just had a streaker come across the pit, the screen a couple of times. You need to tighten up your security, mate.
Yeah.
I was going to say
Dawn,
that
you're going to say.
My story is the opposite. As far as before I started carnivore, my husband's always been a heavy meat eater. And I was always so critical of him eating meat. I was like, oh my God, it's going to cause heart problems and gout. And I would get so upset. I was worried because he eats meat and he's the epitome of health. My husband is. But I just, grew up believing meat was bad. And so I was so worried about him because he ate so much red meat all the time. And now I realize he's probably going to outlive me because he's been doing this for years. I'm a newbie.
Yeah, but a quick word on that. A quick word on that. Yeah, Sarah's right. You'll catch up because I was a heart attack waiting to happen 2 years and 7 months ago, 1st of March 22. But as I explained to Dave Mack the other day, I'm now officially healed because the NHS says I'm in perfect metabolic health. So the body is very resilient, and you're 11 weeks in. Wait till you're 2.5 years in, like I am, and you'll be healed. You'll be fully healed, and you'll live as long as your husband. No problems at all.
Let's hope.
Yeah. He'll never get rid of you now. He's stuck with you.
Right.
Yeah. I do drive my family mad though, because I am the only carnivore in the house and I have to cook for them all the time, which makes it even more impressive that I've got to 100 days, because I am buying and preparing and cooking food all day long for these people in my house, and they're not that grateful. And I think
Sarah,
I should be allowed to talk about carnivore now and then.
Right. Well, I want you to know the reason that I really appreciate your channel is because, like you said, there's loads of other channels where everybody's just doing fabulous and losing weight by buckets, and their life is just, and it wasn't like that for me. So I was like, I'm just doing something wrong. So when I found your channel and I saw how committed you were, and you weren't, like you said, you weren't losing weight by buckets, but you were healing. And that's the most important aspect of this diet. And people forget that it's healing, and it's so amazing. And even I got to that point after I healed. I'm like, okay, well, where's the weight loss now? I've healed. Now I want to see the weight loss. And I was getting frustrated, and I thought I was the only one. And so it's encouraging for other people to see that you're not necessarily going to lose the weight right away. And that's okay. It's still an amazing way of eating, because it's going to heal you. And that's the most important thing. And from the very beginning, when I first started this, I would say, even if I never lose another pound, I'm going to stick with it because of all the amazing healing aspects.
Yeah.
But as soon as I healed, it's like I forgot how bad I felt. I forgot about it. Now I'm like, where's the weight loss? But I know if I was to stop doing this, I would start feeling terrible again. I would get the, inflammation back, and the low energy, and the skin conditions, and just all the crap that I had before this. So I really appreciate that you're out there, because there's more people like you and I than there are people that are just doing super fantastic on it. Not everybody 100%. Does.
Yeah. And I'm super excited to get rid of my skin tags as well. Just want to mention quickly my skin tags for anyone watching. I had 15 skin tags 100 days ago, and I knew that all I had to do was string together enough days. And then I can't remember how many days ago it is now, about 7 or 8 days ago, I've lost some. One came off in my hand. I've only got 7 left. And my worst one is going black now. I noticed it in the mirror. So, and I know that once all that insulin resistance is gone, I'm then going to experience some weight loss, but my body's healing on the inside first. And that's just a miracle to me in a very small amount of time. And I just had to get to that 100 days strict without a hitch. And that's all I had to do. And now the chemistry's changed, and there's no willpower now. It's just, I'm done.
Yeah. It doesn't take willpower at this point.
So it's interesting what Dawn said, because obviously we touched upon it a little bit when I did the interview with Dawn, is that the weight set side of it, which was my original goal why I did it, and turns out to be the least important thing to me now. I think guys, because they carry a lot of weight around their middle, and it's that type of weight, they seem to get the results quicker, where you lovely ladies, you tend to spread the fat around your body rather than have it in one central area. And I think that's part of it, because it is quite noticeable that ladies do lose later, but when they do, they're probably more consistent on keeping it going. Where I kind of
we tend to have been on more yo-yo diets, though, haven't we?
Right.
The average woman's probably been on 10 times the amount of diets the average man has. So we've messed ourselves up good and proper by the time we get to 40.
I have to beg to differ there, Sarah, because I've been obese since I was born.
How can I take you seriously with that mask on?
Well, I went on the 5-2 when I was 17. I've been on the calorie deficit. Yeah, absolutely, because I was a horrendously fat 17-year-old. So that was a time of my life where I needed to be, in my best. So I went on the 5-2, which worked. And then
actually, I do remember you saying that now. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I did obviously very high exercise, low calorie lifestyle, and then it worked for a while up until I was about 40, and then I just gave up and I just went into morbid obesity. So I've done plenty of yo-yo dieting in my time. I really have, because obesity has been a problem that I've faced all my life. So there we go. It's just a quick one on your case, Dawn. It's the body composition. You're not particularly happy with the weight loss, but I think you were very happy with the 7 months ago and the most recent photographs in the same outfit. You want to explain that one?
That blew me away, because I was feeling so discouraged. I wasn't seeing it on the scale. And I just happened to I ran into a friend who she said she noticed I lost weight. And I was like, oh, well, thank you, because I really didn't feel like it. So I had come home and I was looking at pictures, and I saw this picture of me just like 7 months ago. And I decided to try that outfit on that I had on in that picture. I could not believe, well, you saw it. It was amazing to me. The same outfit where the shirt was so stretched, I popped a button. That I had like an over jacket on top of it, and I couldn't even close it. It was like right here, you know. Well, when I put it on now, I could like close it. It was draping. The shirt was so big, it just hangs on me. I had to get a smaller size in the same exact shirt. And I just literally stared at the picture when I, put the two together. I just was staring at them because it was like, this is unbelievable to me. I've only lost the X amount of pounds, but how many inches must I have lost for this, for it to look like that? And I was almost in tears. I was so ecstatic. And that really encouraged me after I did it. Then I had to go and try other shirts on that I hadn't worn in a while to see how they fit. And it was like, oh my God. But like I said, I wear stretchy mom jeans and loose fitting clothes. So I didn't notice it right away. My clothes are loose anyway. I never wear anything form fitting. So it was hard for me to tell, but my gosh, I still don't understand how that works. How can you lose just a few pounds, but lose so many inches? Can anybody explain that? I don't understand it. I mean,
weirdly, I have lost 2 inches off each thigh. Which is weird.
Yeah,
but that's absolutely nothing off the waist, though, which is annoying me because I feel like that's where the most harmful fat is. So I would rather have lost it off the tummy and nothing off the thighs, really. But you don't get to choose where it comes from, do you?
Yeah,
it comes off where it wants to. We can't outsmart our bodies. Just give them the right nutrition and let them get on with it, I suppose.
Just a couple of comments from the various people. It looks like, Sarah, you've got one of your fans here. You've got Karen Boom Boom Rocks, who's very excited.
Karen!
For you, Sarah. Lainey, good enough, wants to know what mask is Sarah talking about. So clearly, this is George's normal look. From I did discover that the body composition fat loss is desirable. You must be patient. You can't drop carbs immediately, and this alone will delay the fat burning. Once sub 20 kilograms, they introduced HIIT training, and then we've got Selena Saunders, who says, actually, I just realised I can put these up on the screen.
Celia is a friend of ours, Carl. She's on the racing group with us.
Oh, right, okay, right. So there's her comment. Hi, I'm out on a family visit, just dropping by for a bit, loving the outfits. What outfits? I don't know what she's talking about. And then obviously we've got Karen again, who's just come in and says she's here. Nice hair, Karen. Wow, rocking that.
Oh, Karen's been supporting me for a whole year.
Oh,
she's been supporting me since August of last year. She is amazing.
Yeah, can I just say something about Celia?
We need people like yourself on there. So
I'll just say about Celia. I mentioned her in the Dave Mack video the other day. She's the lady who at 61 had to go out horse riding, and then discovered carnivore.
Yes, and now
at 71, she's riding horses again. So yeah, that's a big shout out to Celia because that's an amazing story.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's fantastic.
And now we know why you're wearing that mask, don't we? So we can't see you welling up when you're telling these stories.
That's very true. As you know, I'm very much in touch with my emotions now, Sarah. Yeah, and I do tell you.
Yeah, you can have a good old cry behind that mask. We won't notice.
Exactly, that's right. Yeah. I'll drown. That's the only problem.
Drown away.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is patience and to do it, because for me, the weight loss happened quickly, but it was the other health benefits that kind of took over that and is now like my priority over the weight side of it. But,
oh, yes,
unfortunate. So what have we got here, Sarah? You've got a menu?
My health benefits menu. Menu is beef, right. And more beef.
You've got both sides. I want to see that.
Shall I just quickly read them out?
Yeah.
Yes, please do.
These are the health benefits. Some of them I've already experienced over the last 10 years, and some of them are recent. But I'm just going to read them out quickly so I don't bore you for too long. But no gastritis or IBS symptoms anymore, or bloating. Lifelong psoriasis gone. Skin tags, that's a new thing. I had to just do enough days So I'm 15 down to 7 with those. No tooth sensitivity. When I eat mixed diet, I have my teeth sort of sensitive. Now they don't. Improved mood, no brain fog, all day energy, irritatingly happy. No plantar fasciitis. That's a new one for me. That happened in the summer for me. It was excruciating. 100 days of carnivore, no pain in my feet whatsoever, which is amazing because I was hobbling around like a really old person. No joint pain anywhere, no sugar, carb, cravings, hunger, varicose veins gone, blood sugar in normal range. I'm nearly 49, but I still have a 28-day cycle, no perimenopausal symptoms, no meds, no HRT, even though loads of my friends at my age are on that medication. I sleep through the night, awake easily, no insomnia, perfect blood panel, HDL and triglycerides are in range. I get off the floor easy without using my hands. I'm coming along with some fat adaptation. It's going well, but it's still not finished. I'm eating twice a day and it's easy for me now. All day energy. There's dodgy mole as another one. There's a really good one that I've done in this summer. I had a bit of a dodgy mole on my back. That was actually the catalyst to get me doing this properly. Sometimes you need a why that makes you cry. And I had this mole on my back that I was slightly concerned about. I always said that if I had a real concern, I would do carnivore and stay carnivore forever. And this is one of the things that's catalysted it forward, you know, if that's the right word. I don't know, but I'm happy. Anyway, about a week ago, the top part of the mole just lifted off. And now I've just got a slight, light little mark that's barely visible. So I've gone from having a dark, crusty mole to all of it just falling off in 100 days carnivore, which I think is incredible, and I'm no longer worried about the mole. But I'm still going to keep going. I'm completely medication free and plan to be for the rest of my life. My mum was on millions of medications, and then she died young, so I'm avoiding all that. That's really huge because I saw her go through illness all her life. If you've seen my channel, you'll know what I've been through with her, and just generally more enthusiasm and hope for myself and humanity, really. And so, and there's more to come. I have got more things that I'm still trying to fix, but like the weight, but that'll come at some point. But it's worth it just for all those benefits. And seeing those skin tags and moles falling off is just outstanding.
Yeah, that's a sign of healing. That's what I one of the doctors
that is
was
a sign of big healing.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. That's amazing.
And apparently you can lose age spots and all sorts. I also want to lose these stupid things.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that my
eyes. Yeah,
Sorry?
They said you can heal your eyes. Have you guys heard that?
Some people have and some haven't. So I just see, hopefully I'm in the have category.
Me too.
Well, one of your successes, Dawn, one of your successes was a leaky eye, I think, wasn't it? A leaky eye?
Yeah, I had a leaky. It's what a weird thing, right? I just contributed it to being old. You know, I have a leaky eye. I was constantly having to take tissue with me. I don't have that anymore. The same things as far as I have the energy now. I sleep through the night, no brain fog. I don't have any inflammation. I had a knee that I just knew I was going to have surgery on. I was walking with the cane. It's like it never happened. I mean, no pain whatsoever. And it was aching. I would get up in the middle of the night and put ice bags on it. It was just that bad. And so it was keeping me from hiking and walking because we're very outdoorsy and we go camping and hiking. And I thought that part of my life was over. So that was huge. No, this is TMI, no flatulence. Good for you to take that off. I know it's going to be killing you.
Yeah, I think I made my point. So here I am. Plus the fact that Lainey has just brought me a mug of coffee. I don't know if I can actually get that one up. It says, warning, I may start talking about meat at any time. Yeah. So there we go. You can, for anybody who's interested, you can buy these online. My mate bought it for me for Christmas last year, and it's very true.
So perfect.
Just quickly, we've got Heidi from South Africa here, and she's been watching you, Sarah. Very inspiring, and thank you.
Oh, thank you for the comments.
Where you're watching from. Let's see how international we are, or if we're predominantly UK or US. So please tell us where you're from as well. So I really appreciate that.
Well, we're already international because we got California with us tonight. Dawn from California. So yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It's incredible how small the world is nowadays.
Are you guys
Yeah,
all by
indeed.
each other?
No, we're quite a long way away from each other in the UK.
Okay.
In US terms, we're local, but in UK terms, we're quite distant apart. Yeah. So
yeah.
but talking about
So what's your other health benefits, Dawn?
The other health benefits were, I was going to say, I don't have the gas and bloating that I used to have. As you get older, you tend to have more gas and you can't control it like you did when you were younger. And that was becoming a concern. I was always worried that was going to happen when I was out in public or the grocery store. I mean, it was getting to be a concern. I don't have that anymore. So that was huge for me. I was super excited about that, and just the bloating that comes along with it. And the skin conditions, I had like psoriasis around, my hairline, on my arms. It's completely gone. Like I've never had any issues with that. That's another mind-blowing thing to me, that it just cleared up, because I wasn't focused on that. I was focused on the mood swings, the depression, the anxiety, the energy, the inflammation, and those things, those healed right away, which I don't know how that is for everybody else, but for me, those things healed within a couple weeks, and none of it's come back. My depression, and I was bedridden with depression, and the low energy. It was just soul crushing fatigue all the time. I had a hard time just driving, because just a 20-minute drive would like put me out. It was all I could do. So yeah, it has just been, I need to write it down like you did, because there's always little things I'll be like, oh, I don't do this anymore. Yeah, I forget. So I need to start keeping a list. But those were just the big ones. And
it's one thing which I've almost forgotten about now, and and I fail to mention it a lot of the time, is I actually lost 10 months out of the workplace to depression between 2011 and 2012, and I was on Prozac, and I was just curled up on the end of the bed, fat and unable to move and unable to think. Even then, I managed to drag myself back into the workplace, but I wasn't a really functioning human being for the next 10 years. It wasn't until March 22, when I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and morbid obesity, that I was able to understand what was going on, and I was able to take measures. And instead of going and taking the prescriptions, I cut out the carbs, and here I am, a successful health story 2 years and 7 months on.
Amazing.
But it's hard to believe. I want to look back on it. It's hard to believe that I actually lost probably maybe 12, 13 years of my life to metabolic syndrome. I'll never get those years back, but here I am, and I'm looking forward to the next 20. So there we go.
Yeah.
Well, I keep telling everybody that this is the fountain of youth. It literally is like the fountain of youth. I'm getting years back. I feel younger now than I did 10, 15 years ago. So maybe we will get those years back in some respect. We're going to be doing things that we wouldn't have been doing at this age. We're going to be able to go and do things again. So yeah. And look at how
my brother lost 10 years.
Oh,
sorry,
really?
My brother lost. Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. My brother lost 10 years to depression, and he's just gone on the carnivore diet himself. So I'm hoping that will fix him, because he's had 10 years that he's lost out of his life. He's only 46, and 10 of those have been stolen by depression. His marriage broke down. He had lost his job, and so he's been doing a few months of low carb now. He's lost about 28 pounds. I don't know whether he's as strict as me, but now that he's on that path, I'm hoping he's gone back to work. He's gone back to work. He's getting up in the morning where he wasn't before. So he is improving. So, we're all getting our life back, aren't we? And that's why they don't want us to do it, because it's just too good.
Right.
Well,
right.
They don't want us to be like this.
I've just flashed up Mark Caldwell. Was another guy that's turned his life around. He was a heart attack waiting to happen. There's another guy from the States, Dawn. Another one of you lovely. Well, he's actually a British guy that then moved to the States and now lives in the States and do well. I did a double interview with him, and his story is amazing. The way he's turned around his life. He was literally, wanted to go swimming and was worried about having a heart attack doing it, and he's now turned his life around. So good to see you there, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Yeah.
Hi, Mark.
So the other thing
I love hearing all these stories.
My story with regards to the skin was I also had a melanoma in my forehead, and I had 15 stitches when I went back 7 days later, because I was drinking loads of bone broth, the nurse had a go at me for leaving it so late. And I'm saying, what are you talking about? I had it 7 days ago. She said, no way, this is 3 weeks worth of healing. And she couldn't get the stitches out particularly well. So that shows you the power, because of the bone broth is high in collagen, and obviously with the meat diet as well, that it obviously, my skin was just incredible. And my skin is brilliant compared to, and obviously the other one is Alex, who had the similar name as you, Sarah, you know, the Carnivore for Life. Everyone still thinks,
stole my name.
I want to see his birth certificate, because I don't believe he's 65, but you look at him in those pictures, it's incredible.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We both set up our YouTube channels at the same time, and we both chose the Carnivore for Life, but I let him have it because he'd lost all the weight and I hadn't. So I thought, you have it, mate.
I heard you tell that story. I didn't know that. That's yours, huh? Okay. How funny.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been a bit of a fight over that name, but I let him have it. No.
But
well, I like your name.
So many stories of, I mean, like Kent Carnivore and all these guys. You know, he says that he now has to have a bag, but you know the diet he was on was destroyed his gut, and now the carnivore is like, and people still think eating red meat's bad for you. It just drives me nuts.
Right.
Yeah. It drives me mad.
Well, my stories of turning around metabolic syndrome to the point where I'm now in perfect metabolic health, having been a type 2 diabetic, morbidly obese with massive triglycerides. I've just had my third one since the original diagnosis, and I was down to 5.1% or 32 mmol, and that's my third one in remission, as they call it. But I'm now officially no longer a type 2 diabetic. So that is for me, that is the goal, the why achieved, if you know what I mean. But will I be going back to eating pizza and chips? No, I don't think so, Samuel, because I want to continue feeling this way. And also, the other great thing about it is we got the Carnivore family, and you guys are all part of that. And I wouldn't leave it, because I just enjoy hanging out with you folks. I really do.
Yeah.
Just a whole different kind of people.
Exactly.
The Carnivore family has been the absolute best. I've said that repeatedly. I've never found a diet or weight loss community that has been as helpful and supportive as the Carnivore family has. And like I said, I believe it's because you guys feel so good. You're not just feeling good physically, it makes you feel better emotionally and mentally. And you're just kinder, and you want other people to feel good. You're not judging me. You're not there telling me what I'm doing wrong. You understand what it takes, and you want to help people feel as good as you do. So yeah, the Carnivore community is a whole different group of people.
Absolutely. Although I must point out, Dawn, that there are some carnivore police out there, the carnivore dogmatic police, the trolls, if you like.
Yes.
Because I noticed that you noticed that I was getting laid into by one of them this morning, who said that because I drink alcohol still, that I'm not a carnivore, I'm low carbish. I'm only low carbish. I noticed you jumped in. You jumped in on my defence. So thank you very much for that.
Right? I was like, a lot of people must not understand what carnivore is. If you're eating 70%, and that was from Bart K. I think he knows. He was the one that said, if you're eating more than 70% of your calories are from meat, you're a carnivore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there are some purists out there who want to believe that they are better than the rest of us, and let them go on. Let them get on with it. But they are such a minority. Because I had a massive feedback of love from my Dave Mack interview, and I think I had 3 people who criticised me for continuing to drink alcohol. Everybody else just ignored it, and everybody else just gave the love and the congratulations for what I've achieved. So yeah, they are a very tiny minority.
The problem is if it comes
you've got a comment from Heidi there, haven't you? I think Heidi's looking for some tips. Looking for some tips. Sorry, I thought we can give us. I don't want to forget her, because she's waiting for us to give us some. There she is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carl. I know you wanted to say something. We're all just so excited to be. Once we get started, we just blah 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 blah.
You go away. This is what it's all about.
Can you give me your biggest tip?
I'll put my glass on to read it. So
I can give her a tip. Can I give her a tip?
Go on, Dawn. Go on.
Body sugar addiction is struggling. Can you give me your biggest tip? So everyone
Dawn's ready with one. Dawn's got one.
Eat. When you're hungry, especially with the sugar addiction and you got those cravings, eat meat.
Eat.
Eat meat. I would eat bacon. And I was worried that, the fat was going to be bad. Let me tell you, I lost more weight at the beginning of this when my sugar addiction was the worst, because every time I get a craving, I would eat bacon. I would just eat. I was eating right before I went to bed. At the very beginning, I had to.
All right. Okay.
That's when I lost the most weight. So that's what I tell, anybody that talks. I've talked to a few people since then, and I said, don't let yourself get hungry. Eat, but eat meat.
That is crucial.
Yeah, that's crucial. And people think, if I eat less, I'll lose the weight faster. That's baloney. I found that out too the hard way. The less you eat, your body goes into starvation mode.
Yeah.
You need that fat, you need that protein. So that's been the biggest lesson that I've learned personally. And I hope that's helpful. What
got me through it is watching Mitch at the Old Guy Carnivore channel, because his 2 tips were, now there are some people that dispute these 2 tips, but they work for me and they've worked for a lot of others. And that is, 1, like Dawn said, eat the hell out of meat like it's your job. And 2, get rid of the bathroom scales. Do not weigh yourself for 60 days. Right. Because then if you're somebody like me who doesn't lose weight, you're not going to be discouraged. Because if I had weighed in on those, because I had a little bit of water loss in the first week, and then I had 8 weeks of nothing. Right. Now, if I'd have weighed in on any of those 8 weeks, I would have probably wanted to quit, and then I would have just been hanging. I would have been just clinging on for dear life. Right. But I didn't have to look at that. I just ate like a boss. Didn't weigh. Some people lose loads of weight in the first 2 months. I didn't. In 100 days, I've lost 10 pounds of inflammation. No fat. I'm still wearing the same clothes I was wearing 100 days ago. So for me, what is the point? What one channel said to me, this is controversial. I'm not going to say which channel it was, but they did say to keep on track, weigh yourself every day. Now, how would that have been for me between day 7 and 63, having no weight loss whatsoever? How would that have actually helped me? What would that have done for me? Nothing. Just kicked me off the train, really. So just eat meat like a boss, like it's your job. Worry about the weight later. And that's what Mitch says. He says, I don't care if you gain 100 million pounds. That's the biggest tip. Eat meat like a boss until your brain chemistry kicks in. Just eat the meat. You got
a tip? It's a hard one, really, because it's been so long since I sort of started that I actually transitioned. I transitioned for over a year because I never even heard of carnivore when I started. And all I knew is that low carb was.
Oh, George, we've lost your sound. So, well, I'll quickly jump in while we're waiting for George to come back on with his comments. But it's very similar to what Dawn and Sarah are saying. For me, it's listen to your body. If you're hungry, your body will tell you you're hungry. And if you're not hungry, don't try and force food in. So people like doing fasting and that. And I kind of, I fast because I'm just not hungry. I'm not that I'm planning to do a fast as such. So I listen to the body and my body tells me what to do. So we obviously got another comment here from the... Oh, sorry. So I've jumped across here. Sorry, there's a couple of comments coming. So I just want to go back in the order. Right, so... We've got the Carnivore Hiker UK. He's a purist, still vapes and has coffee. Good on ya. I do have the odd coffee as well. Right. And then we got here, you shouldn't even progress to carnivore in 8 weeks, let alone lose weight. Yeah, that's a very, very, very true comment.
Good advice.
Heidi's very thankful for the tips we've done. So, in terms of... And
don't do... like Carl said, don't do fasting until you're ready. Somebody told me once, if you've got cravings, I find it's good to fast through it. No, I think it's best to eat through it. Yes, if I try and fast through cravings, bad things are going to happen, especially if I'm cooking a meal for my family. If I'm cooking them my favorite dinner, like pizza, brilliant idea to fast. No. Yeah. I want to be full of meat before I start cooking their dinner. Yes. No. And don't fast until your body is ready.
Right.
Yeah.
Eating the fat. I don't know about you, Sarah, but you know, prior diets, you know, because you cut that out, and you know, when you're trying to eliminate all this stuff. But now that we're eating higher fat, I don't get that bitchy, grouchy feeling I used to get when I was dieting, because I feel calmer, and it's because our brains need that fat, especially women. It's a hormonal thing, and when it just makes me feel satiated, it calms me down, it just makes me feel better. So I'm a much nicer person now because I'm eating fat, and I'm losing weight eating fat. So, you know, people can say what they want, but all I know is that since I started eating more fat, I am feeling so much better. I don't have, you know how you feel when you go on a diet, sometimes you just feel deprived and kind of anxious, and I don't know. I didn't like that feeling that I felt. I don't feel that way on this diet.
No,
I don't feel that way. And it's because of the fat. We're consuming more fat. So
Heidi makes a valid point there. Fast is worse for binge eating, you know, and she's learned it the hard way.
Right, Heidi.
And there's some great advice here from Mark. Ignore your doctor. Now, I have to cover ourselves here. This is personal opinion, personal journeys. None of this can be classed as medical advice, but I kind of get where Mark is coming from. And the other thing I found interesting, which you ladies will discover when you start losing weight, no one's worried about you when you're overweight, but as soon as you start losing weight, they all become medical doctors and start telling you what you're doing wrong.
Right. Yes.
And no one cares if you're eating cake, but if you eat a steak, everyone's panicking.
Oh, yeah. So much worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So we've got lovely Jenny online joining us as well. Jenny, welcome to the side of it. But
hi, Jenny.
Mark makes a good point there, but it's you still need that medical advice, because there are certain conditions that you do need that sort of medical support. But you know, it's interesting because obviously, Sarah, I saw some of your earlier stuff, and obviously I know you're not going to name names, so I'll just name them myself. I done Weight Watchers and Slimming World. I did the vegan, the vegetarian, and all that, and I never found anything that gave me anywhere near the results that this carnivore. Well, I've now sort of gone to a Primal rather than Carnivore, and that's part of the reason I changed the channel. And the other was because people at Carnivore do get a bit purist and get a bit silent, and I wanted to broaden what the channel was about rather than narrow it. So, I found that quite useful.
I mean, I do respect the message. I mean, there's no better way to prove that carnivore is healthy than to do it 100%. So we do need some of those purists in the world, but also we need support for the people that just, for one reason or other, maybe they had a terrible time in their life. Like when 2 years ago when my mum died, I wasn't interested in what I ate. I was just living hour to hour. I didn't care what I was eating in that moment, but then I came back to it. And we need some channels that support that kind of person who knows carnivore is just amazing, but they've stumbled and they just now need the support to say, right, let's get going now, and not judge
George,
you.
have we got you back on sound yet, or are you going to have
Am
to do
I
it
back?
online? Yeah, you are back.
I am back. Okay, yeah, fair enough. If I just jump in here a second, and that's that. When I first started, I was watching every channel, and I ended up with a subscription book as long as you're on. No, just fairly recently, I decided I needed to rationalise my watching. So I actually went through and I thanked all the doctors for all the advice they gave me when I was researching, but I basically unsubscribed to them because what I'm doing now is following personalities, following my friends. I think I listed them on Dave Mack yesterday, but you three are probably my core friends, if you like, on WhatsApp. But I've also got, I've become great friends with Lynn Tucker Carnivore. Christy, your friend Sarah, I speak to her in comments. John Laspina, her friend. Ziggy, the carnivore camper, who I actually did a walk with the other day. And obviously we've got our own little WhatsApp group here in the UK with Alex for Life, Carnivore for Life, and Lee the Kent Carnivore, and Paul UK Carnivore guy. So I'm not in that group, am I? I'm not in that group. You were invited, Sarah, I believe. So I was told you were invited, but you didn't. But you declined. Is that correct or not?
I don't remember. Do you want to be in it? Maybe I was having one of my bad times.
I think you probably were. It could be arranged if you do want to be in it.
I'd love to be in it. I just think I was just in a bad place at the time, maybe.
Yeah.
It just wasn't my time, but now it's my time.
Yeah, you definitely belong in it. There's no question about that. As one of the veterans, one of the originals.
Yeah.
So what I do now is I've been around a lot longer than I have. I've been around 2.5 years. But so what I do now is I tend to follow personalities. I tend to follow me carnivore mates rather than the scientific side of things. Although I do still follow Bart K, because I just find him absolutely hilarious, even though I don't know him.
Yeah.
And of course, the other guy that I must mention is DC, and I'll try not to burst into tears this time. But DC has been. His story is amazing, and he's been a great friend to me and Lainey behind the scenes as well. So I follow my friends now. I support my friends. I say thanks to all the scientists, thanks to all the doctors, but I'm staying for the social side of things rather than the research anymore.
Right.
Oh, definitely. Right. And when I have been off the wagon, I really miss it. And as soon as I'm back into it and I'm chatting to all of you guys, I'm like, oh, how did I let that happen? It's never going to happen again. Never.
Yeah, but
you're not going to get rid of me now.
Thing is, though, even if somebody comes off the wagon, they don't need to leave. They can still stay and they can still talk to us, and we will talk them around. You know, it's like that's the thing. Dawn went through a bumpy patch back along. We ended up in a wretched sardine fast or something. We had to pull him out of that, didn't we? but we succeeded because you didn't give up.
Right. I know everybody was pushing that sardine thing, and I thought, wow. I mean, it sounded great in theory, but it wasn't for me. It just wasn't. No. But it's great for us.
Went, oh no.
I'm glad. Anyway. I thought I was just being another
failure. Here. Your interview with Dave Mack the second time round was just brilliant. It was
George.
And you actually showed a bit of emotion, which is, it was good to see as well, which I think...
Yeah, that was actually Dave Mack number 3, believe it or not.
Yeah, it was. I loved it.
Dave Mack,
And as you well know, George, I run a comedy club as well, and I'm thinking at this rate, Lainey's going to get a 10-minute slot, because she keeps coming up with some great one-liners here. She said it was the glass of wine that I gave him. He's now got his voice back.
Yeah, she is actually being a very good wife to me tonight, so I think it's to impress you guys, just to be honest with you.
You're a lucky man.
I certainly am. Very, very lucky man, Dawn. Yeah. Oh, and just a quick one, Dawn. Thank you so much for the hearts that you sent us. They arrived yesterday, I think, or the day before, and they are going to be treasured for life because we know they were sent with love. So that was absolutely wonderful to receive, and thank you so much. We haven't had a chance here. We will see her at the weekend. So yes, she will get hers from Nana Witch, because she absolutely believes in you because you did the video for her, which was amazing. So thank you so much for that as well.
Oh, no, it was my pleasure.
Oh, that's another thing we've got to talk about. Nana Witch. We have to develop her. Nana Witch's Kitchen has to be a thing. And you have to blow yourself up every time. Because obviously, it has to be a disaster episode every time.
That would be true life, though. Me in the kitchen is a huge disaster. My husband does all the cooking. I burn water.
That's lucky.
Yeah, but I think were you making carnivore crack the other day and something went up in flames or something? That belonged on Nana Witch's Kitchen. That should have been done by Nana Witch.
I couldn't believe it. And I was here, I'm filming it. I wanted it to be pretty. And, I was going to put this on my channel. And I'm all talking like everything's great. And the next thing I know, everything goes wrong. The butter's boiling over and, it was smoking. And it was like, I do not belong in the kitchen. But I tried. But yeah.
I said, that should have been an episode of Nana Witch, definitely.
So I know this is a really poor link here, but can we talk about the UK meetup that we're planning next year? Just to touch upon that for some of the UK based. Sorry about this, Dawn. You're welcome to come over if you want to. We're doing a meetup in August. It's the 2nd of August.
Yes.
Confirmed now, George.
Do you want me to lead on this one, Carlos? It was my stupid idea. Sorry, it was my brilliant idea. Yeah, I think that was probably when I had too much wine on board. Yeah. No, I mean, the thing is, Dawn, there is a bit of crossover here because it's going to be very near the town of Glastonbury, which is Witch Central in England. I think I sent you I sent you a link to it. Yeah, I did. Did you enjoy that? Yeah, so that's where we're holding it anyway, or very near the town of Glastonbury. Okay, so the the date, the most important thing is the date. It's just August the 2nd of next year. The venue is booked. We're not at liberty yet to give the actual name because we don't want any prior interest. It'll basically be when the tickets come out. But I can tell you it's very, very near the town. It's a farm very, very near the town of Glastonbury. And we also have the caterer. The caterer is an old friend of mine from the rugby and the horse racing, but he's a professional farmer, and his wife Alison started he has a farm shop, but his wife Alison started a sub business, if you like, which is called the Happy Hog Roast. So he provides hog roast, beef roast, lamb roast, and barbecue on a grand scale. His name is Ashley. He is very carnivore aware because he's known me for 30 years. So he's seen my fall and now my rise. So the fall and rise of George Goodenough. So he's very impressed with carnivore. He tells me that in his farm shop, his best customer is a full-blown carnivore, not somebody that I know myself. But Ashley is also very interested in giving carnivore himself a go. So he is very keen to provide the catering for a bunch of rowdy, weirdo carnivores, basically, because he will not make, he understands us. He will not make the mistake of trying to provide bread and pasta and everything else. He will be very much on board with it. So yeah, just to round up, we have the date, we have the location, we have the caterer. Carl and I have worked through a list of the accommodation possibilities, which we will publish nearer the time. All we've really got to do now is cost out and get the tickets and the actual numbers sorted. So the foundations are laid. We just got to put the roof on there. So well, I believe it's going to happen.
To date, we've got 58 people registered through the landing page that I set up saying that they're interested in coming. Wow. I also know of another probably 12 that haven't registered but are interested in coming. And I believe there's quite a lot of the locals for you, George, that are interested. So I think
absolutely
we're very up to 100 already. So we need to be careful because I think the venue, being in Britain, and we have to, even though it's August, we know what the weather can be like. We have to cater for potentially being undercover as well. And I think that limits our numbers, George. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, I believe it's 200 undercover, 450 up to 450 outside. So we're looking to limit to 200. Obviously, we're going to sell to the carnivores first. But the chances are that if we get sort of 3 weeks away from the actual date itself, we live in rural Somerset, and rural Somerset is all about farming, rugby, all the traditional meat-eating type people. You won't find it's not a quiche and salad part of the world. It is very much a hog roast and barbecue part of the world. So the chances are,
yes.
And you've got to remember also that Ashley and I are well known locally as rugby players and in the horse racing community. So the chances are we will be able to fill 200, no problems at all. If we got 100 carnivores, I'm fairly sure we can get 100 local meat-based people.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this.
I mean, there's one thing which we haven't. There's one thing which does need discussing, which we haven't yet, and that's that. Obviously, we are going to have 3 stars of the carnivore world there, which is going to be Sarah, Carl, and me. Dawn, I wish you could make it, but there we go. I do hope one day you can come to Glastonbury, because I'd love to show you around Glastonbury, because it is witch centre. But yeah, I haven't spoken to Lee about this as yet, but I'd like to think Lee might come down and be one of our stars. And also, I said to Dave, I would like to think that maybe we can get Richard Smith, Keto Pro, or Coach Stephen Thomas. They are 2 of the stars in the UK world. So yeah, we'll have to think about trying to get some invitations out. And then of course there is the old chestnut. Is Kerry going to come across? Because I have spoken to Kerry in comments, and he does want to come across for a big UK meetup. He does want to meet with Lee Copus for the Healing Humanity, but the question mark is when and finance. That is all that is stopping Kerry at the moment. So, but we shall have to wait and see. But I mean, that's a bit over ambitious, I think. Let's just get the meetup up and running first, show before we think about how we can get Kerry over.
What we need to do is obviously we know what we're going to work in theory for 200 tickets. Once we've sorted out the costings on the food, the venue, and all that side of it, then we know what we've got potentially in the pot, which we can potentially get additional higher level carnivore visitors and all that. So I think it's serious based on the interest so far. I think we are going to hit that 200 mark quite easily by August next year. And as you're saying,
for sure.
the weather's good, we can open up to a wider number. So we will be doing an update at some point in November just to give people a bit more information about it. George and I just need to get our calculators out and do some numbers to make it viable.
Yeah, what we need to do is we need to go back to the venue and ask them how much it's going to be for the day for 200 people, and then we've got to decide: will the actual catering be included in the price, or will it be pay as you go? That's the other option which
I think that's something we need to discuss, and perhaps we can rope Sarah in on the committee to do it as well.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say that, Carl, because you and I, when we first did it, said we needed another committee member, and I thought, well, we got an ideal committee member sat here tonight. Especially
there's a lot of things we have to go through, things like risk assessments and all that side of it. But if the venue's got experience at it, they can take a lot of that element for us, which can take.
Yeah, the venue actually describes itself as a pop-up pub, so it has its own license, has its own bar, so it's bound to have all its risk assessments and all its insurances in place as well.
And the simple answer to Mark's question: yes, everyone is welcome. You can come over from Atlanta if you wish. You're more than welcome, and I'll deal with you direct on that, Mark, to make sure that you get involved and you can come along and do it. So we're definitely going to have a few from the state side as well. But yeah, it's I think it's something that if we get this right, this could be an annual event for carnivores to come along and enjoy. So I think
maybe you could live stream it.
So we've got a point here now by the Carnivore Hiker. Anybody else like me, since going carnivore, can't stop moving, and it's feeling crappy if I'm doing everything now. So I'm trying to read with steamed up glasses here. It's not the easiest. I need some like Elton John window wipers.
Yes.
I'm doing things now. Couldn't dream. I can't agree with you more on that one, Carnivore. I mean, I'm now regularly up between 5 and 5:30, and I'm like Tigger. I'm like Tigger when I get out of bed. I'm bouncing all over the place, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Carl, are you going to use your story about not being able to roll out of bed, or should we spare the ladies' blushes on that one?
Is it after 9 o'clock yet? No, it's not after 9 o'clock. I put it so I don't fall out of bed anymore, and Inga, my lovely wife, sometimes thinks, oh, God. Yeah, so I'll leave it there. So.
Well, something that I just recently learned about, how you go through those periods where you do feel terrible and you just feel crappy. And I just was watching a carnivore doctor. I don't remember the lady's name. And she was saying how when we're losing weight on the carnivore diet and our fat cells shrink, they release all the toxins that they've been holding on to into our bloodstream.
Yeah.
And that's what causes us those periods of feeling like crap throughout the whole thing. Until you lose all of that, you're going to have periods throughout the whole time where you're going to feel like crap, headachy and fatigue and aches. And it's because your fat cells are releasing all those toxins they've been holding on from all that crappy food you've been eating for years.
Yeah, it's very true. Plus the fact that your mitochondria are actually repairing as well. So they're being replaced with healthy cholesterol. So all the phytostatins and all those sort of things are being released into the bloodstream. Right. Which is what autophagy is all about. So you've got a lot of toxins coming out of your cells into the bloodstream. So it's not surprising.
Yeah, like
one
seed
thing I did
oils as
say
well.
the other day,
coming out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for the phytostatins and that sort of thing. So one thing I did discover on my last one is that back in January, my cholesterol in UK terms, I'm sorry, I don't know the US, but it went up to 7.1, which is 2 points above the 5 where they trigger a statin. So, and then I've increased the amount of fat that I've been eating since then. So one thing I was amazed about my successful blood test is that my cholesterol went down to 5.5. So my theory now is that basically because my mitochondria have healed, because my body doesn't need so much cholesterol because it's not in repair mode anymore. It's now in maintenance mode. So Dawn's absolutely right. The chances are in the early days, because your body's repairing, it's releasing all the toxins.
I hate to cut you off. I literally have to run. I didn't realize the time. I pick up my grandkids from school, and I have to go. I'm so sad.
Well,
I thought we did in an hour, but we could probably talk for another hour, huh?
You're gonna have to magic yourself there, Dawn. That's it. Cast a spell and just get there immediately.
Well, if I come back and you guys are still talking, I'll join the conversation. But
I'm not sure we will be, but it's, yeah, it could be. Yeah, we can talk forever. It's true.
You get those
it was
great.
lovely talking to you, Sarah and George and Carl.
Lovely to see you, Dawn.
You know, we talked. So
this won't be the last time, Dawn. This will not be the last time.
No.
Right.
No.
This was so much fun. Thank
See you later.
so much. I really enjoyed it. And I will see you guys online.
Brilliant.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you
And
tomorrow.
have a happy Halloween, everybody.
And you.
All righty. Bye.
Cheers, Dawn. Bye-bye.
I can't figure out how to get out.
She's stuck.
Now I'm stuck. You're stuck.
Oh, she's gone.
Oh, lovely. I don't feel like you've had enough chance to talk, Carl.
Yeah, she's a great girl. So one of the things I noticed actually is when I did it when Ipswich got promoted back to the Premiership, I went off. I enjoyed quite a bit more alcohol than I've ever had and all that. And I found that the repercussions of going offline from the carnivore or the primal lifestyle, the repercussions are just not worth it. And it's a great incentive for me not to go offline. And if I do have the odd chip or something like here and there and I pinch my fingers plate or whatever, I kind of think, well, do I really want that now? Because I don't really want the repercussions at 4 in the morning.
No.
Yeah,
because I've got quite a long journey.
As you know, I still drink alcohol, but I don't get hangovers anymore. The last hangover I had was when I was socially obliged to go to a curry house. So I had what I thought was a fairly innocuous lamb curry, but it was in a sauce. And the next morning I had a lousy migraine type headache. And that wasn't the alcohol I drank. That would have been the seed oils that were in the sauce that I ate. Mm. So I've got to be very careful because I have a few tame domestic restaurants now who know me. So there's a small select set of restaurants where I go to where I like for the Turkish one. I have the Turkish type meat only dishes. I only eat the starters, so there's no sides with it. I go to my local hotel, the Tudor. And they now know that there's no point in putting any sides on my plate. So I just get the 12-ounce sirloin on the dish. And then when I go out for lunch at the bistro, Sunday lunch, when we take some of our clients out there, Dawn knows just to put meat on my plate and no roast potatoes or any sides or anything. Yeah. Because there's no point in them throwing it away. So, yeah. So I do have a few restaurants where, they know me, where I feel comfortable. But I try to avoid going to any of the Chineses or the Italians or the Indians. But sometimes you are socially pressurized into doing it. And it is a very difficult situation to put yourself into.
Yeah. So I've now got to the point where I'm just going to turn down social occasions. I'm just not going to do it. Not for at least a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've turned down my Christmas. We've got a Christmas dinner at work. And I instantly said, no, thank you.
Yeah, but there was a reason for that, Sarah. I was going to say it was very expensive, and there was no possibility of catering for carnivores, was there?
No, I mean lots of people in America tend to go to buffets. They don't understand what a set menu is in some cases. I don't want to disparage, but people say, "Oh, that's fine. Just go and get all the beef, get all the salmon." I'm like, no, it's a set menu. I'm going to get a postage stamp size piece of turkey. A tiny piece of salmon, and that's going to be my food for £65. I'm just not going to do it. But I would quite happily turn down a lot of social events at the moment because my health has just been. I can't go back. I cannot risk going back to that depressing state of being scenic. It makes me feel sick now, almost. All the videos I made about being scenic, I can't go back to that. It's a desperate, depressing state. I cannot. There's no way I'm going to eat a single thing that's not meat now because there's too much chance of ending back in that ditch and that desperate state. I'm not going back.
Good for you. Good for you. So before we wrap up, is there anyone viewing wants to ask a question, get it in now before we wrap up. One question to both of you. I know the answer from George already, but Sarah, would you consider going raw?
Well, I'm close. I tell you why, because I've mentioned it in a couple of my videos recently. I've now found a new butcher that's getting me some really good fresh beef mince, and they are literally cutting it up for me just before I pick it up. And I know that they're an incredibly clean butcher, and I know that they have only just cut it. And both times when I've brought it home, I've opened the packet and very nearly stuck my head in it and ate it. So it's only a matter of time, maybe this Saturday, but at some point I'm going to bring back a bag of that mince. I'm going to open it and go, hell yes, and my head's going to go straight in it. So I think it won't be long. And now that I'm doing lion diet, I'm on day 3 of lion diet. No promises, but I want to recreate I want to recreate the Dante's 125 days lion diet. Now, whether it's this time or whether I start it again in December, but it's on the cards. And this butcher's helping me. I went there today and they sold me a beautiful ribeye. They sold me some beef ribs. I'm ready to go. I've changed. But the thought of going back to that ditch, I can't even watch my previous videos. I can't even watch my old videos. Carl, you've got to teach me how to do Carl, you've got to teach me how to do a reaction video to one of my older videos.
Yeah,
and just so I don't know how to do that. You've got to teach me what to do. We're going to have some kind of Zoom call so you can teach me how to do this brilliant.
Yeah, Sarah, if I can just jump in there, because my first video that I did was with Larry, Carnivore Soldier, in September last year. I watched that and I cringe now when I look at what I was eating. I really do. And I was just such a confident little baby carnivore, thinking that he knew everything. And I do. That was 13 months ago, just over 13 months ago. And if I watch it back now, I think, oh no, what a little idiot you really were. What a baby idiot you really were. But yeah, here I am now in a raw carnivore. So there we go.
So Mark Caldwell's opinion actually is no, not for raw. God made fire for a reason.
Do you know? I was actually on the building site this morning, and that's exactly what the boys told me. They said cavemen spent all that time creating fire, and now you've thrown it back in their face, and all that effort. So my building site mates all agree with Mark.
Well, I tell you, once you've tried raw, I think it's hard to go away from it. I mean, in all fairness, before I went on Carnivore, I would regularly have a blue steak, so it wasn't a major step for me. But to go fully raw, and I went stupidly. I went cold turkey straight on it, and I didn't give my body a chance to do it. Where George was more sensible and did a gradual approach, and he's probably more raw than I am now. But I do enjoy eating raw.
I mean, the only reason I did it was to support you, Carl. And I just tried 2 steaks on a Tuesday, I think it was, and I found that there was no problems. So I upped it to 4 the next week, then 8. Then now I'm on 10 a week, Monday to Friday. I eat 2 steaks in work, and of course the great thing about it is I don't have to cook them, so I can eat steak in work. And all I've got is a microwave in there, so I couldn't cook a steak in there, so I can eat 2 steaks a day. One thing I will say, and that's that. The carnivore police are going to shoot me for this, but I do add a little bit of mustard to it on account of the fact that it is bland. But I do add pink Himalayan salt as well. But the texture I actually find as good, if not better, than even rare. The reason I do it is probably it might even be laziness as much as anything else, to be perfectly honest, because I don't have to cook anything, and of course I don't have to wash anything up either, because I just open the package and I do have to have a decent knife and fork, and I just throw it away. It's one thing I will say though: everything I eat is sort of shrink wrapped, so that there's no danger of pathogens getting on it while it's sitting in a butcher's shop or anything. There's no flies getting to it or anything like that. So it's actually not as good quality meat as you buy in a butcher's shop, but it's probably cleaner. There's no air pollution to it before I do it, and so it's each their own.
And I don't know if this is generally to do with carnivore overall, but obviously once I went raw and you chew that bit more, I find that my teeth are much stronger than they've been in a long time. So I don't know if it's because I'm chewing more or it's related to the carnivore diet overall, but I have found that teeth wise is just phenomenal.
I hadn't given that any thought, so I will think about that over the course of the next few weeks. But I haven't been to the dentist for a long time now, mainly because she kept on cancelling me and I've just given up. But I've got no teeth problems, so why bother at the end of the day?
Agreed. Well, we're coming up to an hour and 10 now, and I'm sure people want to probably get back to their normal lifestyle. So if there's no
more questions, and Lainey's waiting in the kitchen with a glass of wine for me, so I better go and join her. Otherwise, she'll be feeling very lonely.
I'm quite happy to wrap up now if you are as well, Sarah, unless you've got any final points you want to add. Or was Sarah frozen? I think she might have frozen. Right, so we'll wrap up. So thank you, everyone. Hang
on a second, Carl.
We keep.
She's back in. She's back in.
Yeah,
sorry,
but there is something which I would like to say, because obviously I'm a great fan of the panel shows, such as the Wednesday night school, and DC is across everything. We haven't got many panel shows in this country, have we? So perhaps we should organise one a month or something, a panel show. Maybe get some, maybe get the three of us, and maybe get a guest speaker either from the UK or from abroad.
Yeah.
You know, Sarah can get Christy. I feel quite sure.
I had loads more. Yeah, I had loads more I could talk about. I could go on for another hour about my journey.
Yeah,
so I'm more than happy to.
Yeah, so we can come back. So I say Sarah's mates with Christy.
Yeah.
We're obviously friends with Dawn there,
She's
so we
so
can
good.
get Dawn. We might be able to get Alex Carnivore for Life, or we'll get.
Yeah.
So maybe,
he's a little bit busy at the moment, but yeah, we can.
Yeah. Perhaps if we can, sort of once a month, organise a panel show such as this on a Wednesday evening. I don't think we're not going to clash with John because he's way behind us.
Yeah.
So
maybe
that's an idea. Yeah,
I think it's a great idea.
I'd love
Sarah,
to.
if you want anything to add before we wrap up.
Loads, but I'm not going to bore you anymore. Let's save it for the next panel show.
Absolutely. So thanks everyone for watching. Thank you guys for participating, and have a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Carl.